Hello, this is Dr.Ajay Kamble, MD Homeopathy, practicing in the Nagpur in the Medical Square, Director Healthy Life Homeopathy Multi-Speciality Clinic. Did my MD from West Bengal University of Health Sciences, Kolkata. I learned from the most of the practitioner or the masters of homeopathy who have practicing homeopathy in the Hahnemanian manner. The exact understanding of the Hahnemanian homeopathy and practicing in the Hahnemanian manner by understanding the organ of medicine as well as the proper understanding of the Mater Medica, repertory and the other subjects. I'm practicing since 2012 in the Nagpur and treated many cases, various kind of cases with the homeopathy with a much success in the treatment. Today, on the occasion of our master Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's birth anniversary, I'm going to share some of the information about the homeopathy as well as some of the cases where I'm going to start, as well as the series of learning from the cases that where I will explain the number of cases which I have treated classically with homeopathy. I will explain that cases by videos. I will share that cases, how I solve that, how homeopathically the cure take place in that cases. So, in the homeopathy, it is not the thing that to understand the Mater Medica and practice only. It's many of the physicians or the early practitioners who used to get the Mater Medica understanding only symptoms and applying that remedies to the patient. It is not the thing. Thing is that to understand the organon where Dr. Hahnemann has given the proper guidance, proper ideas of the treatment of the patients in various conditions as well as various diseases. Just like in the COVID conditions, there is a guideline by Dr. Hahnemann to treat the epidemic diseases. That accordingly we have to treat the patients and you will get the proper result. So today it is a tribute to our our master Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. Today I am going to share some of the cases of the I have been treated in the COVID conditions. In the COVID conditions, when there was a number of the doctors, which allopathic doctors are working 24 hours for the patients. They fight for them, but they don't have the proper remedy or the medicines in their system, but yet they work. In the homeopathy, they had the number of medicines which can be useful for the treatment, but in that case, very few of the homeopathic doctors have been worked for the treatment in that situation, COVID conditions or the pandemic condition. At that time, I was the person who used to practice. I continued my practice in my clinic. I have not taken any break in my practice, not a single day. I was always there in the clinic where I used to see the cases, because I think that it was the pandemic. It is spread all over the world. It's also in the India. It is a very dangerous situations. They had a lockdown. At least it was allowed only allopathic doctors to treat, but for the patients, I was continuous working in my clinic in the Medical Square in the Nagpur. Various stalwarts at that times, before the patients coming to me, I found that the various stalwarts, without getting the idea of the pandemic or the cases, has given the idea of preventive and specific remedies like camphor, bryonia, sepia, as our CCR-Ajay advised and distributed the arsenic album 30. But I don't think that arsenic album had given good कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा हुआ होगा आर्सेनिक से या प्रिवेंशन हुआ होगा, मुझे नहीं लगता, क्योंकि मैंने केसेस देखा है लोग आर्सेनिक ले लेके सिर्फ आर्सेनिक के सिम्टम्स डेवलप कर लिए अपने अंदर में, कुछ ऐसा फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रिवेंशन हुआ, ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगता। बाकी ये पार्ट CCRH का है कि उसके ऊपर रिसर्च करना चाहिए और देखना चाहिए कि सही में उससे फ़ायदा हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। But in my thinking, whenever I thought that whenever you cannot go into the battlefield, you cannot understand the war. On that way, I hold myself to look for the cases, and the cases started coming. I get the effect of specific remedies. Before this, I'm going to explain the cases. I just want to say that what Dr. Hahnemann given the idea for treatment of the epidemic diseases in the organ of medicine. As accordingly, our master, Dr. Hahnemann, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, given the idea in the organ of medicine in the section 101, 102 section, that is the aphorism. Section 101, 100, 101, 102 and 103. Section 101, section 100, Dr. Hahnemann says that in the section 100, take the thorough case when investigating the epidemic or sporadic diseases. With a few exceptions, each regaining epidemic differs from all the previous one. Means Dr. Hahnemann says that you have to take the case properly and investigate the symptomatology, because every case is different from the other. Other means not the patient is different from the one patient to other. The epidemic which was prevalent, just like our CCRH given idea of arsenic album 30 on the basis of H1N1 infection, where the arsenic album was the effective remedy. But this time it was not necessary that it will be an effective remedy. So Dr. Hahnemann says that investigate the nature of the disease in every epidemic condition. What is specifically in the present situation happening to the patients? What are the symptoms to every patient? Section 101, the symptom complex of epidemic disease only comes to the light through the observation of several cases involving different bodily constitutions. Means Dr. Hahnemann says that you have to observe the different bodily constitutions suffering from the similar disease with the similar expressions. So we have to consider the number of cases and go through the number of cases to find out what is the common of the disease as well as the uncommon symptoms which is indicating to the remedy. In every case you will find that in every case there will be a most characteristic uncommon characteristic sign and symptoms will come out in the cases which will guide us for the selection of remedy. In every cases the similar understanding, similar symptomatology with the similar characteristic symptoms. Section 102, upon recording the symptomatology of the several cases of this kind, the sketch of the disease image becomes more and more complete. By going through the number of cases, your sketch of the disease will be clear. Footnote section 102, finding out the most fitting homeopathic specific remedy for the epidemic disease means to find out the genus epidemicus for the cases, means the most characteristic symptoms ko leke, the characteristic sign and symptoms of the patients which is coming in every case. That is, we have to find in every case. It is uncommon thing, it is a common thing, and in every case it is uncommon thing. By collecting that uncommon characteristic sign and symptoms, so one remedy will come out. That remedy will cure the case as well as prevent the case. Means whenever there is a disease, you will apply that remedy for the treatment, for the cure, and whenever there will be a patients where you want to prevent the disease, you can prescribe it before the disease and it will prevent that disease from that condition. That will be a preventive remedy, the genus epidemicus concept in the homeopathy. Section 103, chronic miasmatic diseases are the collective disease with an extremely large totality of the symptoms. The reason of many different forms of sporic diseases is the same, just as the different diseases in the same epidemic disease. That is the section 103. This is the section 103. In this he says that these collective diseases, these diseases in our various bodily constitution is not the same disease in number of the patients. That is the concept. That is the understanding by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann given to us. On that basis, I practiced, I understand the cases, I treated the cases. Some of the cases I am going to share from today, not only the cases of the COVID as well as the other disorders which I have treated. I will share day by day through the videos. So, the case number 1, in which it is not the scientific presentation. I am just telling the cases that what I had it, what was the prescribing point. It was the cases which it is having the 3 cases where there I have given a different 3 remedies according to the specific individualization of the cases. It was the earliest cases, or some of the earliest, some of the later on. But I am not giving here the genus epidemicus or the what remedy I have number of times prescribed. It was the some of the cases which are away from that, which requires a very specific individualized aspect in that cases. So it is the case number 1. Is the person of 40 years, male. By profession he is an allopathic doctor. Come to consult me in the first wave of the COVID-19 in earliest condition. Earliest when the epidemic started, he suffered from the disease through the patient. He had the following symptomatology. Mostly the symptomatology which was very common in the disease, that was fever, very much tired feeling, so much tired that he cannot even talk properly. Dyspnea, very severe dyspnea, loss of taste, loss of smell. Associated with this, at that time he started diabetes, which might have their in their constitution in the suppressed condition or in the genetics which gets arises in that condition, and started the sugar level is rising, diabetes, rise of blood glucose in that period, with a muscular pain, severe muscular pain, and headache severe. With the mental condition, they had fear that he will die, but unable to think what to do, which remedy to take, which doctor to consult, what is good for him. That was the common symptomatology in that period. That is I am explaining. But before consulting, some of the homeopathic, some of the allopathic drugs he have taken before that, but it was useless. So इन्वेस्टिगेशन, रेगुलर फीवर, ऑक्सीजन सैचुरेशन बहुत कम हो चुका था, आरटीपीसीआर पॉजिटिव था. It was the condition that he will die soon. In that case, I thought that I should have to find out the remedy. इसको बचाना पड़ेगा ही और remedy find out करनी पड़ेगी. So I inquired the case regularly. It was the consultation for more than 1, 2, 3 times to find out the specific. It was on the online consultation. I just saw that patient on the online consultation, over the phone. I just asked repeatedly by looking over the patients. I just asked once last that what do you want to do in that situation to get the relief? इतना दम लग रहा है, इतना थकावट आ रही है, क्या करने से तुमको अच्छा लगता है? So patient says, मेरा ये जो दम लग रहा है ना, मैं अगर गाड़ी में बैठूं और अगर थोड़ी देर तक खिड़की खुली रख के चलने लगूं तो डिस्निया कम होने लगता है, दम लगना जो है वो कम होने लगता है. In this weakness, he want to ride in a carriage. It was the strange symptom. It was a one grand strange symptom कि गाड़ी में बैठ के उसको आराम लगने लगता है. I just considered it. I found it in the repertory, synthesis repertory. Respiration difficult, riding ameliorate. Respiration difficult, riding ameliorate is an only remedy. Sorinum is given there. I remember that In that case, they had the suppressed kidney eruption in the general bodily constitution. So I prescribed him, started prescribing him Sorinum 0/1, as it is required to repetition. It was better to prescribe LM potency, so I started Sorinum 0/1 TDS. Within 1 or 2 days, he get, just after taking up the first dose of the Sorinum 0/1, he just felt that some energy is coming back, respiration is improving, and everything is going to improve. Within 2-3 days or somewhat 2-3 days, he get recovered from the situation. Everything was better. His respiration was better. His energy level was better, and he improved from that situation. After that, in that case, another remedy was required to prescribe, which I have been prescribed after Sorinum. So I will explain it in the later on sessions. Case number 2. That is the patient, female, 60-year. She consulted me the second wave of the COVID-19. The scenario of the COVID-19 in the first wave was the different, and the scenario of the COVID-19 in the second wave was the different. Second wave was the very dangerous situation than first wave. Very severe symptoms was there in the second wave. In the first wave, the remedy which came out in most of the cases was different in my case, my treatment, and the second wave, the remedy coming out for the most of the cases was the different. So the second wave, but these cases I have given is how to treat in the individualistic approach, how to find that very individualistically in that cases, rather than the common understanding of the disease and from the number of the patients. So I am explaining here the second wave. She had the COVID-19 positive, RT-PCR test was positive, oxygen saturation was very low. It might be up to 65 to 70 or से भी कम होगा शायद से. COVID pneumonia, ground glass opacity was there in the CT chest, continuous fever, headache, weakness, restlessness. I tried some of the regular medicine but not get the same such a result, such a relief. Why she is not getting relief? I have taken her to under observation to look at her, what is happening. In my own home, I admitted her, as she was my relative too. No other hospital was available as well as to admit her, so I taken her to, and at most my approach was to observe the case. By doing this, I started observing the case. I found कि she had the fear she will die. उसको लगता था कि वो मर जाएगी. She think there is no medicine. Whatever medicine I am giving to her in the LM potency or in the liquid form, she think that there is no medicine. This doctor is not giving medicine to me. Even he is only giving the water. No medicine is there. Even whether I am giving is no medicine, she is saying the only water is shows her suspiciousness. Another most striking thing I found is the day by day frightenedness, बहुत ज़्यादा डरी हुई कंडीशन, fear of dark. रात में उठ के उसको डर लगने लगता था, उस कारण से वो खड़ी होती थी और चलने लगती थी इस रूम से उस रूम में, इधर से उधर. fear of dark, अंधेरा करो तो उसको डर लगने लगता है. वॉन्ट्स सारे लाइट खड़ा ओपन रखने के लिए बोलती थी, वो उसको लगता था कि लोग उसके पास में बैठे रहे. wants light, and most striking, and I found that indirectly what she is doing in her room. I found that she is praying in alone to God, but loudly and repeatedly she is saying, "Hey God, take me if you want to take, but please don't give me this suffering." Constantly by हाथ जोड़ के भगवान को प्रार्थना कर रही है कि भगवान अगर लेके जाना है तो लेके जा, लेकिन मेरे को ये तकलीफ मत दे. So I got the clue. I consult the Allen keynote. According to the Allen's keynote, disposed to talk continuously, insistent and incoherent talking and laughing, praying, beseeching, entreating, desired lights and company, as well as the suspiciousness, I prescribe a stramonium 0/1 TDS. In the next day, patients start improving, too much improving. The energy level improved, symptoms getting down, and recovered completely in most of 3, 4, 5, or within a week. She was all right. Now she is okay without any complication. Without any complications. Whatever the cases I have treated in that conditions, they don't have any complications. They don't have any post-COVID effect, or they don't have any problem related to the health after that. Case number 3. This is the last case I'm going to explain here. 40-year male, bank manager. It was the earliest case of the second wave when the vaccination was started. This person was the banker, so he had been first given the vaccination, taken the vaccination first dose, and after that he have to told that कि आपको बुखार आएगा, बुखार आने के बाद तकलीफ लेना नहीं है, कुछ बुखार की दवा दे दिए, बुखार कम हो जाएगा, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ नहीं. वैक्सीन लेके आ गए और उनकी कंप्लेंट जो है वो कंटिन्यूसली इम्प्रूव होना, तकलीफ स्टार्ट वहाँ से हो गई. स्टार्टेड सफरिंग. He had told that fever will come due to the vaccine, so he have not taken seriously about the fever, but continuous fever for 5 to 7 days with other complaints started, likely dyspnea, weakness, excessive headache, muscular pain, excessive muscular pain, severe headache, loss of appetite, want to lie down, no desire to tell his suffering to other or to anyone, oxygen saturations more than near about 65 hours से भी कम था. I consulted him. I take the case. I understand that he is get the disease. I understand that he is suffering from the disease COVID-19. It is not the effect of vaccination. It might be due to vaccination. It is started. The disease started. I said him, you get the COVID-19 infection. Other blood markers like CRP, D-dimer was raised. I started observation, but some of the symptoms, in that case, I found that it was the earliest case of the second wave, and where I get the understanding of the remedy in the second wave. What could be that? They had the symptoms of diarrhea sometimes, some of the symptoms of antin-tart, some of the symptoms of arsenic, some of the symptoms of kali beach. With there was COVID pneumonia, ground glass opacities. By considering the whole case, I understand the rubric, one rubric, synthesis repertory, chest inflammation, lung, catarrh, chest inflammation, lung, catarrh accompanied by influenza. The remedy anti-Mars is given, only remedy by the rubric is given from the boric. Before this, starting of the COVID, I had treated the similar kind of pneumonia, where I got the similar kind of symptomatology from the different drugs, but not one of the drug is fitting perfectly and relieving completely. Just like on that situation, I had tried bryonia, anti-tart, step by step, but not the specific and such result as according to as it is termed, not get the result. So in that case, a collective totality I had considered, and at that time I had prescribed anti-Rs. So I remembered that cases before starting of the COVID, everything. On that basis, I thought that it could be a predisposing conditions where they had some of the patients suffered. So I considered the anti-Rs, and I was confident that it will work. I have given the anti-Rs, found useful in anti-Mars, started anti-Mars, they had not LM potency, so anti-Mars 36 globule in the 100 ml glass bottle, dissolved in the aqua distillata with a few drops of alcohol, and started giving TDS by giving 10 stroke in the 1 cup of water, 1 spoon. I started giving. What is symptomatology of the antimonium arsenicosum is given in the boric, found useful in the emphysema with excessive dyspnea and cough, catarrh pneumonia associated with influenza. That was the given in the borics, materia medica. That was the case. I prescribed within 1 or 2-3 days. The patients started recovering, lung recovered, felt better by first dose of medicine. From the first dose of medicine, it felt better. Later on, in many of the cases, anti-Mars have been prescribed, and it saved the many cases of the COVID-19 in the second waves. Many of the cases have been saved in the COVID-19 in the second waves. Thank you very much. I have given the understanding of the cases, my experiences which I have taken from the COVID cases, that is I have shared here. Do subscribe my channel, press the bell icon, do continuously watching my videos. I will repeatedly continuously start the series of cases, learning from the cases which I have treated as according to the Hahnemanian manner, as well as the masters of the cases I will explain, I will share here. Thank you very much. Goodbye.